talk about what you should have on your radar as we get into a fresh trading session. Our research team is here with the trade setup as well as all of the individual stocks that you should have on your radar. Sonal, Mangalam, Vivek all join me now. Guys, a very good morning to all of you. And Sonal, let me come to you first as always. Take us through how all of the cues are looking. The handover, of course, has been positive.
Oh, yes, it has been very strong, especially from the US markets, right? You did point out about how the US markets panned out yesterday. The Nasdaq surge, we did see good, strong cues coming in from the global markets as well. And it was led by the US GDP number as well, which came in higher than what the street was working with at 2.9% versus an estimate of 2.8%. Well, there is a Fed meet which is going to be convened on Jan 31st and Feb 1st, and that is something that the markets are watching out for. In terms of stock-specific news, there was strong earnings coming in from Tesla, and that is something the stock surged, and earnings continue to remain the focus point going ahead as well. If we talk about the Asian markets, they are largely higher, and Hang Seng has slipped into the red, as you mentioned, but largely taking positive cues from the global markets. They are trading in the green. Japan's inflation number came in at 4.3%, which is higher than expected, and the yield there as well rose more than 3% to come in at 0.476%. SGX Nifty, as a result of all of this, is indicating that the start for our own markets could be well in the red, well in the green. If we adjust it with the Nifty futures, it's up around 40 odd points. So that is something that we'll be watching out for as well. As far as our own markets are concerned, Feb series starts from today. We have seen how the expiry was really on Wednesday. A sharp fall is what we saw on Wednesday. All sectoral indices closed in the red, and Nifty PSU banking index, that was the top loser as well. India Wix rose by 7.5% there. So that is also important to track. Immediate support now is at 17,761 to 17,774. Resistance on the upper side is where we are seeing it at 18,145. That continues to be the resistance point as well. Street, of course, is awaiting cues from the budget next week. Till then, it's expected to be a range-bound trading session for our own markets. Additionally, just a news, Indian market will shift to T+1 settlement from today. So that's the other big cue that we are watching out for. Back to you.
All right, Sonal, thanks a lot for taking us through all of those cues and prepping us for this trading session. But let's now talk about the individual names that are going to be in focus in today's trading session. Vivek has that entire list. Hi, Vivek.
Well, good morning. Whole host of stocks, that reported their results post market hours. So first on our list, of course, is Bajaj Auto. Very strong beat to the consensus estimates. The earnings were much better than expected, and the company managed to report a record high EBITDA despite the weakness in exports. Net profit coming in over 1,490 crore rupees. Next on our list is Dr. Reddy. Again, a very good set of numbers from the company this time around. When you're talking about the profitability coming in over 1,240 crore versus 707 crore last time around. The strong beat to the estimates was mainly led by the US business, where sales came in at close to $344 million for this particular quarter. Moving on to Tata Motors, very encouraging set of results here as well. The company managed to report a profit for the first time in 2 years. EBITDA, core EBITDA coming in over 10,820 crore, and JLR EBIT margin was up almost 230 basis points at 3.7%. DLF also reported its numbers. It's been a steady quarter from the company this time around. Margins coming in at 31.9% and profitability coming in at 519 crore this time around. Torrent Pharma, largely inline set of numbers, versus the consensus. Net profit coming in marginally low due to higher depreciation. But when you're talking about the core EBITDA, largely in line, 724 crore. Amara Raja also reported its numbers. Very strong set of numbers here as well. Profitability 222 crore versus 145 crore last time around. EBITDA margins coming in at 15% versus 12% last time around. CEAT is subdued in line with the seasonally weak quarter that it generally sees this time of the year. Tata Elxsi also reported its set of results, slightly muted results. LJV will be the stock in focus on the back of news flow, selling its entire stake in the Bhutanese JV for 355 crore. And of course, important thing to watch out for would be the movement to the T+1 settlement. This is the last tranche of stocks, both cash as well as F&O stocks, that will be moving to this settlement from this particular day onwards.
So clearly we have lots to track in terms of individual stock-specific action. Vivek, thanks a lot for that entire list. Finally, Mangalam is also here to run us through all of the cues from the futures and options space. Mangalam, we saw an over 200-point downtick on Wednesday. Take us through how's it looking this morning.
Well, on Wednesday, it was also the Jan series expiry. So we say hello to the February series today as we kickstart that. And my, thought process is that whether it could be a big one for the bulls this time around. Why do I say that? Well, because February is known for big moves. Feb 2020 was down 400 points, Feb 21 was up 1300 points, and Feb 22 was down 900 points. Can bulls take the charge in Feb 23? Why do I say that? Well, because in Jan itself, we've seen a cut of almost 299 points, and that follows a 290 point cut in December itself. So we're sitting on a 600 point cut in the last two series itself. The FIIs, while they've rolled over their positions in line with what we've seen in the last 3 months, 79 odd %, the overall open interest on the Nifty is sub 1 crore, and that's on a lighter footing. And apart from all of that, the FII long exposure has gone lower and lower in the last 3 series. So 77% at the start of December, 57% at the start of Jan, and 38% at the start of Feb series itself. So we don't have a lot of long positions. In fact, we have a lot of short positions. So if they don't get any follow through, we may perhaps see a lot of short covering. All of that depends on the triggers. Most of them are next week itself, which is the union budget on Feb 1st, and we have the US Fed meet on Jan 31st and Feb 1st itself. So we'll get the outcome on the same day itself. RBI monetary policies in the following week, and through that we will have the remainder of the third quarter results as well. The other couple of data points that I'm watching out for in the Feb series, the first one is global inflation and economic growth data that will come by, and secondly, are flows moving into China more versus India or not is another thing that can impact us. My sense is that if there is not enough downside, then there could be a case for a big up move in the Feb series.
All right, Mangalam, thanks a lot for taking us through all of those cues. Like you said, we normally see big moves in the Feb series. So let's see which way it moves, because we have so many cues that are lined up in the coming month. But for now, we have to get into a short break. When we return, a whole host of stocks are in focus. The likes of Tata Motors, Bajaj Auto and Dr. Reddy's all posted their third quarter numbers post-market hours on Wednesday. So the fine print is lined up for you on the other side.